Hello guys, how's everybody doing? It is Tuesday, June 28th today. I want to put together this video. Hold on one sec. Here, so you guys can see my Pink Floyd shirt at the wall. I put this video together because I know I did records that mean a lot to me and records that are on the upper pricey side. But allergies. But what I really wanted to go through is stuff for my generation. You know, that goes from the 90s up to now. So, that's what I'm going to do. No, not every album's in here. I promise you that. There's a lot to go through. There's stuff that hit me, but really I didn't think it met the generation. Don't take any offense to that at all. There's plenty of stuff that I could put in here, but the video would be like 2 hours long. So, I'm trying to keep this under half an hour, hopefully. We'll see what we can do. Okay. Once again, this is albums that, in my opinion, hit me the most through my generation from when I was very little to now, and stuff that really, really broke barriers in the music scene, huge barriers. And I'll just be talking about all that right now. So here we go. Here is the first one.
You insult me.
This record, this was, I don't know, ever since I heard it, this 1995, Alice in Chains Unplugged, very good, huge MTV Unplugged performance by them, very good. Ever since I heard Sludge Factory on here, I was just blown away. I mean, there's been plenty of good MTV Unplugs, like in here I'm going to have Pearl Jam too, that's another very groundbreaking one, and I'm going to go in alphabetical order here of some sort, so. But this definitely broke barriers for me, definitely broke a lot of barriers, one of my favorite MTV Unplugs to this date. This record, I still remember when I heard like one of the really good hits off this record. I would just listen to it constantly. This was middle school stuff, man. This is, God, Audio Slave. Gosh, this was huge. Cautious, the first track off this, that was the one that I heard in Detroit Rock City, the movie. I heard it in there, and I'm like, what is that song? And I listened to this full record, and I was just blown away by it. This is great. Front to back, I mean, just in-your-face, aggressive Audio Slave. I mean, this broke so much barriers for them as a band. Huge record by them. Still one of my favorites. I know that they're not a band anymore, but in their whole catalog, this is definitely one that you want to get your hands on. Wow, this record brings back a lot of memories for me. Huge, a lot of stuff. I remember my mom turned me on to Atlantis when I was very little. We listened to this record, to Jagged Little Pill in the car, cassette. It wasn't even a CD. It was a cassette of this. We played this constantly. Constantly we played this thing. This was her debut. This thing kicked ass. I mean, this was huge. A Canadian artist came, she was big in Canada, and then she came over here and just blew up and just exploded. This, I still remember this. I still know most of these songs by heart. I could just sing it front to back. I mean, a lot of memories, broke a lot of barriers for just me as myself. But huge in the music scene, very big. wave that she made in music, definitely.
Should I fly to Los Angeles? Find my asshole brother. Mickey Mouse is grown up a cow.
How can I forget Bush? How can I forget that? 16 Stone was one of those records that I heard it on the radio, when radio was good. It was 16 Stone. It was just great. You get the singles from this, like friggin' Everything Zen. You get Glycerine. You get Little Things, Come Down, Machine Head. I mean, this is definitely a great find. If you can find the original pressing, is huge. This is not original. This is the repress that I got. Wish I had the original. That'd be nice. But definitely something that really just hit home for me.
I'm a student of the drums, and I'm also a teacher of the drums too.
This record, to me, is huge in electronic music. Huge. Unfortunately, I wasn't turned on to this till about 4 years ago. So, I wish I would have known back then, but I'm glad I knew about this thing. And I learned, I've listened to this record in college, actually, and Steve Yeager was the one that showed me this. We were in a class, and it was all about electronic musicianship. That was his class, one of the best classes I think I've ever taken. And I learned so much. All my music is done in Logic, and he's the one that showed me Logic and Reason, and this is one he told me about. And we listened to it. I didn't know who DJ Shadow was. Unfortunately, I know it sounds terrible, because he's a huge person in electronic music scene, definitely in the 90s when this record came out. And if you know anything about the backstory of this thing, there's nothing like it. There's nothing that can top this. Maybe Jay Dilla. I think he's on the same level as this thing. Donuts was fantastic, But I really love this. I love introducing. It's just the amount of effort that went into this thing to make it what it is mind-blowing to me. I'm beside myself when I listen to this, because if I didn't tell you that everything on here was sampled from vinyl records, you would have never known. You would have never guessed that any of this, everything is sampled, and it's all done by him with just a little, my teacher would kill me because I don't know this. It's, he's had a whole bunch of pads that he programmed with these samples. It could just be the snare off this record, the hi-hat off this record, the kick from this, guitar from this album. It's, to make this, I could never, not in a million, I can't touch this thing. This was huge. This was big for me. I was blown away when I heard this, because when we listened to it, I had no idea what went into it. It just sounded like someone that did samples. It's cool. But it's like, it's from vinyl records. He got everything from that. And it's just, this is big. I can't give this thing enough praise. Now this album, this is bringing back memories for me. Wow, this is, a few of these, actually a lot of these, especially emo rock, that middle school, that just, A lot of memories, man. A lot of memories. This definitely was one of my favorites. Definitely, my cousin Mitch turned me onto this. Thank you so much for turning me onto this, because the Poison is something that is just. I don't think Bullet for My Valentine can do it again. It's one of those albums that, in a band's lifetime, they do it and it just hits home, and then it's like a once in a lifetime chance, and they hit it right on the dot. I mean, this was huge, huge. I remember when I heard "Tears Don't Fall," and that was actually the first song he showed me wasn't on this. It was "Hand of Blood," and that was on an EP they did before this. But this was their debut. Definitely something that was. It blew my mind. I mean, to this day, this is my favorite emo record of anything I've ever heard. It is just, there's something to be taken from it, and it's just, I think it hits every kid's like just heart right in. It's just because it goes back to something that someone went through, and it's just, it is fantastic. This album, this thing, I can say this now that this is really one of my top favorite post-rock records ever. This thing is a powerhouse. I mean, "The Earth Is Not a Cold Dead Place" by Explosion in the Sky is just something else. It is dark, it is deep, it is sad as hell. It's There's a lot to take from it, and there's a lot of different ways to look at it depending on what your perspective is of the record. That's what makes music so just creative and powerful, is because everybody looks at it differently. Some people could take a really sad record and flip it into something happy because they may have gone through something sad and then it rolled into just this huge amount of just happiness. And someone may think, oh, this is like the lowest record of my life, and it's so interesting to hear people's perspective of records, because it's always different. There's no one I've met that I've had the same connection with, and it's always been different in some way. Maybe the similar topics, but definitely something was different. And this was one that I played a lot. This really brought me into post-rock. This definitely just hit home for me. And brought me on to so many other great post-rock groups, but this is the record that really did it for me. Definitely a great album by Explosions in the Sky.
Teeth marks on the skin. The greatest trick the devil ever played was convincing me that I was him. We like to feel the blood and fat dripping off our gums. She likes to talk directly down the barrel of her gun. Learning to perfect the ancient art of quiet rape. You've always been so warm and calculated. I owe you a thanks. Eyes wide shut, I promise not to fall.
We're getting through this, man. We're getting through this. This one, local artist, Idea and Abilities, phenomenal. One of the fastest, I would say, local guys around, and unfortunately he passed away in 2009, which is a tragedy. Oh my gosh. I remember hearing that and I'm like, no, there's no way that's right. And it was, but this right here was the record that went out with a bang. This was right before he passed away, and By the Throat, that's the reason that it just really strikes me, is it's because it's his last work that he's ever done with Abilities and just Idea and Abilities in itself. And this is just the fastest I've ever heard someone just rap. I mean, the message is so clear, and it's just it's amazing. I wish hip-hop was still like this. Oh my god, I would do anything for that. I mean, that's what I love about local Minnesota hip-hop, is because it's not just about sex, drugs, getting drunk, and crap. It's actually about the city, It's about what's going on, It could be, like, political. It could be stuff that's going on in Minneapolis or St. Paul or something it means something, It's not just, like, some stupid crap where it's just, yeah, you should have sex all the time. It's just, I can't stand that stuff. cannot stand that stuff. It makes me sad that it's gone to that, and it used to be something so special, something that's so cherished, and people rapped for, like, because of something, it's sad that stuff isn't like this, or like Nas, that's another great one, Illmatic, another one I didn't put in here, but see, there's so many, I mean, just so many great stuff, I can't tell you.
You were wrong, you were right. Shot down, said you never had the chance. Took a ride on the suicide romance. Could have sworn there was somebody home to facilitate the great unknown.
These next two here are CDs. Unfortunately, they did not make the vinyl of this. I wish they would. Oh, what I wouldn't give. But American Town, oh, a lot of memories from this too. A lot of memories. Once again, my mom turned me on this when I was very little. We listened to it in the car all the time, constantly. This is another one I could sing you this thing. I mean, it brings me back every time I listen to it. It's definitely my favorite record in their catalog. And it just really broke waves. It really did. It really just hit home with a lot of people, and that's why it's in my list, because this is one of their greatest. I can guarantee you that.
Once again she steals away, then she reaches out to kiss me.
Now this thing, oh, this is amazing. I can't give all these are great. I just have so much good things to say about this. And another record that my mom turned me on to, Fleetwood Mac in general, but the dance was something from my generation that really just, the performance was just perfect. I mean, everyone was on their game. Everyone was in sync. It sounds identical. I mean, the audience was so quiet that this could be a studio thing. This could be a freaking studio album for anybody knows, because especially on songs like Bleed to Love Her, it just starts off and it's like barely anybody talking, and it's just it is so great. The dance is definitely one of Fleetwood Mac's best, next to Rumors, of course. I can't give that thing enough praise either, but the dance was something that I really took away from this, and it was just, it's always stuck with me. Next, this one, rolling back into post-rock here. This was definitely in my top 10. This was really difficult to choose, because everyone from Godspeed, every record has been great. It's been fantastic, but for some reason, I always come back to this. I always come back to Hallelujah, Don't Bend, Ascend. This is something else. And thanks for Explosion in the Sky, I rolled into this group band, and Don't Bend, Ascend is oh my gosh. I've never heard anything like it. It was something else. And this record was really big for me. I always come back to this thing. It's just dark. It is dark. I mean dark. Darkest dark, It is just, you can just, when you listen to it, you need to just be in a room by yourself, lights off, or lights dim at least, and just listen, and you go on a journey, man. It is something else. It's just, there's so much going on that post-rock in general isn't something you can listen to in the car on the way to work. It's not what it's made for. It's definitely made for a sit-down listen by yourself, just isolated, and just to focus on the music and understand what this means. And this is definitely one of those albums, definitely.
I walk a lonely road
I still remember when this thing came out. I remember like it was yesterday. I remember going into Best Buy. It was one of my first parental advisory albums I ever purchased, and I remember I had to go in, I had to print off lyrics for my parents to show them. Oh man, it was something else. I mean, this is definitely their best in my opinion. Definitely, American Idiot is something else. Boulevard Broken Dreams was definitely the first one that I heard. Definitely in middle school. Definitely, everyone was into Green Day in that time, man. Everybody knew American Idiot and just all their past releases. But I don't know, this really clicked with me. This was something that really put me on the map. And my dad was the one who actually told me about it. He's like, "You ever heard of Green Day?" And I didn't know who it was. And he's like, "Yeah, check out American Idiot." And I listened to it, and I'm just like, "Wow, this is." And now the vinyl of this is big too. It's very difficult to find. It's very difficult, but it's definitely a record by theirs that really broke the alternative music scene. Definitely, in my opinion, definitely.
And even though the moment passed me by, I still can't turn away.
That it's Slide and all that stuff. Iris, that's amazing. But this, I don't know what it is. I just connect with it so well, and it's an amazing record. They just did amazing work on this thing. A Boy Named Goo is great. It is the song that really just hits me every time is Name. That is none of their songs hit me like that. That just hits hard because when I was listening to this, it was about a couple years ago. And I was just going through a period where I was in a super low place, and this it made me feel like I wasn't the only one. Everybody can relate, and this is something that I'll like forget your name. There's all stuff that like, oh, we wrote these things, but now they're thrown away, and just it still hits me to this day, and I think it always will. It's one of those songs that really just hits home with me.
Fuckers running away from the Twin Towers. Gunshots rock the earth like a meteor shower. Bowling for Columbine, fear giving the media power. Innocence devoured like a chicken spot snack box. Government cocaine cooked into ghetto crack rock. Corrupt cops, false testimony at your arraignment. Check the check, constant struggle to make the payments. Working your whole life wondering where the day went. The subway stays packed like a multi.
Now this is definitely from the 2000s generation, not the 90s. This is again like 20th century stuff. This is definitely my favorite hip hop album of that time, hands down. Still is. Nothing has really topped it with me. But Immoral Technique, Revolutionary Volume 2 is just something to take away from, and it's just the politics on here is fantastic. Really hits to my views, definitely. Ryan might think my views are kind of twisted. But hey, that's alright. I've heard it before. But this was back in 2004, and I feel like most of the stuff is still rolled over till now, and just especially Harlem Streets, that's fantastic. It just talks about what the world's going to, and this world's killing itself, we're killing it, and this corrupt politics and politicians, and just it still rolls over to this day, and it's always hit me really hard. And this is high school, actually. I listened to this, even though it was released in 2004. I listened to it then, and it still hits home with me, definitely.
Frozen words agree and say it's time to call back. All the birds are sent to fly behind her castle walls, and I'm weary of the nights I've seen inside these empty halls.
Now this I can't even. It's one of my very, very precious records to me. It wasn't pressed on vinyl. Unfortunately, I'm very sad. This is probably the worst one out of the bunch that I wish that they would have. I'd be the first one in line. It just it it really hit me. This is another record that I usually go to when I'm feeling super down and I just want to be by myself. The other one would be Quadrophenia and The River. Definitely, definitely in my top three here. That would definitely really hit home, especially Birds of St. Mark's. That is a song that every time you listen to it, you just I tear up because it's so emotional, and just the way he plays, and it's just stripped down, just him and the piano, and that's it. And it is fantastic. I cannot even tell you about that song. And for a dancer, another very emotional song. This record is just really emotional for me in general. It's a very tough thing for me to talk about. I usually don't, because it's very difficult for me to go in depth to this thing. But it's one of my favorite solo acoustic unplugged I think I've ever listened to, and it always will be. There's nothing that can take its spot ever. Now this one, you all know this one. This was big. This was really big. What was this actually? Was this 2006? I think it was actually. Gotta be. From 2004 to 2007, there was just so much good music. I mean, just overflowing. But Continuum, I know you can't really see it. It's there. It's there, kind of. If I can get it in the light, it's there. It's a weird cover, but Waiting on the World to Change, everyone knows that one, but this whole album really spoke to me too. Definitely Waiting on the World to Change was a really, really big one for me. Definitely groundbreaking in that, but there's also Gravity, which is amazing. Vultures is great. Slow Dancing in a Burning Room is very good. And there's a lot of big hitters on this thing, and definitely something to take away from, definitely.
So 1, 2, 3, take my hand and come with me because you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. I say you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. 4, 5, 6, come on and get your kicks. Now you don't need the money when you look like that.
Are you gonna be my girl? It's that song people know until they're 90, and those it was so overplayed. But at that time, it wasn't bad, And to this, it's just shut it off, It's just too much. But Get Born, this thing was huge, guys. This was big. This was big. Still big. Everyone still knows Are You Gonna Be My Girl. It's always, everyone, no matter, anyone from our generation will know what that is. And it's, some people are like, oh, I can't stand that song because I've heard it so many times. I hope not, because it's just fantastic. But I still remember, there's a point in my life that I always remember the song. It was in, God, was that elementary school? I think it was. Oh my goodness. We went to, gosh, I cannot remember the place of this for the life of me. But it was a city setting. It's inside a building, but it's in a city setting, and we both get, everyone in the class got a job. Someone would be a postman, someone would run the restaurant, someone would do these businesses. And it's this full working city just to experience what it's like. And what was fun is that I'll always remember that. That is the first song that came on they have speakers. That was the first song that came on, and it was. I'll always remember that. This record will always be a special place in my heart, definitely. Now this one, I think I would get shot if I didn't say this. I mean, this was best record of last year. Definitely still, I haven't heard anything better than this. Kamasi Washington's Epic is just something that's just, it's so different. It is so different. I can't put into words what it is, but it's 3.5 hours long, man. It's like 3 records in one, I think. It's like 3 albums in one. I had to like take a break in between, you know, because it's so much to take in. It is so much to just grasp around your head around it. And if you went all the way through, you won't really get the concept, you know. You really need to just listen to Volume 1 and just sit and just sit back on that, think about it, you know, and just take that in. And it is emotional. I mean, this jazz is phenomenal. I mean, Kamasi's playing style is fantastic. I mean, hands down, big jazz break. Big jazz. It's really something that jazz needed to push, and this was it, you know. This really is going to push the barrier for a lot of people, so I'm very excited to see what jazz has to come now.
When this began, I had nothing to say, and I get lost in the nothingness inside of me. I was confused, and I let it all out and find that I'm not the only person with these things in mind.
This album is, gosh, I still have the CD in my car to this day. The thing's beat up as hell, but overplayed, scratched up. I mean, I will never forget the first time I heard this. It's around Christmas time, I remember. I was at my cousin's house. I was sleeping over, and he told me about Linkin Park. I'm like, who's that? At that time, I didn't know who it was. And he's like, yeah, I just got the CD, Meteor, and it's really good. You should listen to it. And I took it home. I was leaving. I took it home, listened to the thing. I swear, like 10 times. I mean, this album, not one song on this thing is bad. Not one song. This and Stadium Arcadium are the 2 records that are the best out of my generation that I know. It's something else to take away from this. Linkin Park Meteor is something extremely special. It is still to this day the best-selling alternative record to this day. It still holds the record. I mean, one of the best-selling out of any alternative album. That's huge. And this, I will always remember that. And I still have the CD too to this day, and I listen to it all the time. And every time I go back, I'll just think of that time where he first introduced me to this, and it's amazing. Amazing. I can't even describe to you.
I never said I'd lie and wait forever. If I knew we'd be together, I can't always.
This one now. Oh, this brings me back to my first relationship, man. We're going back, man. We're going way back. Gosh, this was, yeah, wow. My Chemical Romance, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge. We all know this one, guys. Helena and I'm Not Okay and The Ghosts of You are this 3 hit songs off this thing, but everyone knows this album. This was huge for the emo rock scene. This was very big, very, very big. Big for the band, big for the genre in general, but I remember my first girlfriend, she turned me on to a lot of stuff, actually. This was one of them. This is one of the bands. And My Chemical Romance, it was Helena. I remember watching VH1 Top 20 Video Countdown, and that song was on the countdown for like weeks. I mean, weeks. Same thing with the Ghost of You. That was, it was big, but I remember that was, it still hits home this day. Definitely something that I just love. I just love it.
From Hank to Hendrix, I walk these streets with you. this old guitar, doing what I do.
Now, this album is just, it's very, how can I say it? I think it's one of the most emotional records I have in my collection, and there's like 400 records in there. This thing is, I hardly ever play it because it's too difficult to listen to. I very rarely play it. It's one of the albums I go to when I'm really down. It just, I connect so well with this, and no album in my collection has done that like this. This is different. I mean, it brings me back, man. It does. It brings me way back. My parents got divorced when I was little. I was 6, and Dan doesn't remember any of it, but I do. And it brings me back to that, because that was a huge album. We always listen to that. Me and my dad, he loves Neil Young. It's hard to listen to. Out of any of this, it's definitely hard to listen to for me. Definitely just very difficult. I don't put it on the turntable very often for many reasons. It's just, I get super emotional. It's just, a lot of stuff rushes back. A lot of stuff. And it's tough. It's a very tough album for me. But definitely, probably, gosh, I don't even know. Definitely in my top 5 albums of my generation that really just hit home with me. Definitely is up there. But it's it is the most difficult record in my collection to listen to. And I think it always will be.
Everything's so blurry, and everyone's so fake, and everybody's empty, and everything is so messed up, preoccupied with
This, my mom's like, I'm sorry I raised you on all this bad music. Puddle of Mud, Come Clean. Gosh. When was this again? This was back. I should know this before looking at it. 2001? Oh my god. That was elementary school. Rolling into middle school? Gosh. Come Clean is fantastic. I still remember this memory of, we listen to this thing constantly. And number 6, She Hates Me. You know, it says, she hates me. You know, what my mom would do is when the swear word came on, she would turn the volume down and then turn it back up again, so I wouldn't hear it. Oh my gosh, she did that with Alanis Morissette too. Jagged Little Pill, she did the exact same thing. Oh my gosh, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget that. This is fantastic. Puddle of Mud, Come Clean, definitely a big one for me. Now this is a heavyweight. Got this recently. I know, it's just been so long. 1998, Fish, Story of the Ghost. Hands down my favorite of their whole discography. Definitely hands down. I like funky music and just really in the pocket. And this is definitely one that's just, when I heard it, I'm like, I need to get this on record. I need to hear it what it's supposed to be. And it is so rewarding. If you get a chance to get this, you listen to it. It is fantastic. The CD and digital do not do it justice. This is amazing. This is amazing. Definitely a heavyweight in my collection. Definitely. We're close, guys. We're close. I don't know. Rage Against the Machine. anyone who knows me, this is just a no-brainer. It's just Rage Against the Machine. This is as old as I am. This is 24 years old, and this is hard to pick. This is a very I love all the records, of course, but this was the first one, and it's just great. And you know me, I'm a hippie without the drugs. That's what I call it. That's what I call myself. Cause I'm always about love, music, and just equality, make everyone just equal, you know, and against the government, and they are, and that's how I connect, you know. I just think they're just out to get everybody, you know. They don't give a crap about us, and just anything to make them get by, you know, they'll do, and just it's totally against that. I think I always will be against the government. They want to dumb down the population so that we don't know what's going on. And as soon as someone speaks out, you know, they got to end it because he knows. And it's happened so many times. So many times. Like John Lennon is a perfect example. He spoke out so much. Nope, killed him. And people say, well, it's just a guy. I'm like, how do you know that? You know, it happens constantly. Constantly. And there's this great quote that I have. I showed Mariah this recently. It's very good. It's life is like a ride, you know. It goes ups and downs, has twists and turns. It's bright, it's loud, it's fun, you know, for a while. And if you go on it, because people have been on it for a very long time, they think this is real, you know. I've been on it for so long. It's real, but there's people that have been on the ride long enough to know, hey, this is just a ride. You know, you can get off whenever you want to. It's just a ride, you know. And we kill those people because they're speaking out. They know the truth. They know what's going on, and they kick them out. And people have been on the ride so long. They're like, I have this nice house, this nice car, I have this big bank account. It has to be real. And it's just a ride. It's just a ride, guys. You can change it whenever you want to. If you want to get off, you can get off. You know, that is your call. It's just a ride. Life is a big ride, guys. And if you want to get off, get off. You know, that is your choice to do. But that's how I live my life, you know. Life is just a ride. It's all just a game. And people think I have all this stuff. How is this? It's like it's just a ride. You know, it's not real. It's hard to explain to people, but I get it. I really do, and I think that's a great quote, and that's why I love Rage Against the Machine, because they're going against the government and all those corrupt politicians and stuff, and I'm totally for that, definitely.
Can't stop addicted to the shindig. Chop top, it says I'm gonna win big. Choose not a life of imitation. Distant closer to the reservation.
Now, I got 3 of them here. This is a big one. Oh, we'll save the best for last. This one, once again, thank you, Mom, for sharing this. Chili Peppers, by the way, definitely a great one. Definitely. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. I always come back. It's just a really easy listen for me because it's not too fast. It's not too hard hitting. There's a couple hard hitting songs there, but it's really just it's laid back. It's easy to listen to, and it's just I always go back to this thing constantly. Constantly, I go back to this thing always.
Swing. I got a soul that cannot sleep at night when something just ain't right. Blood but without sight. Exploding egos in the night. Makes like six of dynamite. Red, black, or white. This is my fight. Come on, let's be heard.
Now, this is the one that really got me on the train for them. This is I wish they would have kept going with this, you know. Blood Sugar Sex Magic is definitely, this was my first record I've ever bought, actually. Just a little bit of backstory. First record I ever bought. And I love this. I love this era of the Chili Peppers. I love this. because it's super funky, it's super hard hitting, it's aggressive, and and the drum Chad's in there, it's not some stupid samples or synths, and none of that crap. It's just raw, it's just funky as hell. Flea on bass. I mean, gosh, guys, he always delivers, but this is definitely one that I always go back to. I love this era. I love this album.
45, just another way to survive. California, rest in peace. Simultaneous release. California, show your teeth.
Okay, guys, I think it's time now. I think it is time. This is my favorite record of my generation. I know that's a huge thing to say, but I am 100% backing this thing. I mean, I remember when this thing came out, and my dad, I knew the Chili Peppers beforehand because, by the way, and Blood Sugar and stuff, but then it kind of rolled off. I didn't really listen to a lot, and my dad got the CD. He's like, "Have you heard it yet? They're in Chili Peppers?" I'm like, "No, I haven't heard it." He's like, "It's like 28 songs and they're all good, And I'm like, "No, it can't be. There's no way." I swear to God, I have the box set, you guys. I got them all. If you have this, high five to you, man. This is fantastic. My favorite in my whole collection. This is right here. This is my favorite record of the generation for so many reasons. I mean, 28 songs and every one is good. I don't skip a single song when I listen to this thing front to back. Not one. Because the music connects so well that you don't want to go on, You want to stay and listen, to like what's going on, and it's deep lyrics too. I watched a video on this, and it's Anthony has some deep lyrics in this stuff. It's all about just connecting with yourself, going through some hard times, hard relationships, and just coming out of that darkness, and it is definitely my favorite record of my generation, and by the band, definitely. Stadium Arcadium will always be there, and I've had people come up to me and ask, "Do you think that they're gonna top that?" I'm like, "No, not my generation." That's for damn sure. I don't think it ever will happen again. It's like the other album. It's once in a lifetime shot, and they did it, and that was it. Just gone. It went out with a bang, man. This was John's last record he played on. Unfortunately, I love John. I wish he would have stayed, and it would be a completely different band. But he went out with a bang on this. I mean, I cannot give this record enough praise. It deserves so much from so many people, and it's always will be there for me.
All that I see is that we're living life. Did you fail when you found that you paid the price? Hope it wasn't lost in an honest truth, so the past doesn't break all that we've been through. Every little thing that you did was right, but who knows what you did on the day you cried.
Now this one, I've seen the record online from him. I haven't. Everyone's talking, "You need to release the album." It's just another really good one that I want on vinyl, with hands down. I have the single of "Take a Message." I have the single of that. I have it over there. I've listened to it. It's great. But Remy Shan, "The Way I Feel," once again, thank you, Steve, for showing me this. We were in class once again, and start of every class, someone brings in a song and we listen to it. And we can tell like backstory stuff we know, and we dig in like, why was the song, what was it doing, what were the chord progressions, what was the meaning behind the song, how did it come together, and I brought in a Steely Dan song from Pretzel Logic. I remember it, and we were talking about stuff, and the whole class he's like, "Have you heard of Remy Shand?" I'm like, "No, I haven't heard of that." He's like, "Oh, I think I have listened to this," and it blew everybody away. I mean, people are like, I want that CD, you know. It is amazing. It's so good. He needs to release another album. I want him to. He's back in the music scene finally after what, 12 years, you know. Gosh, I mean, I hope he does. I really do. I hope he does. But this is special. If you like funk and really just neo soul stuff, nothing tops Remy Shan. Nothing at all.
Getting pretty good at leaving. My patience isn't wearing thin. Autumn never ends in my head, no matter how far I've been. It feels like everybody is the branch and I'm the leaves, falling from the top of every leafless tree.
Okay, I think we got 4 more records left, guys. We're almost there. This is gonna take forever to download, by the way. I just want you guys to know that. But this is recently I was turned on to Real Friends, The Home Inside My Head, and once again, love emo rock. Grew up with the stuff. Will always love it. But you know, I said Bullet for Valentine is my favorite and is deep. I mean, you don't know deep until you've heard this. I got to a point where it was hard for me to listen to because it's so just. They do not hold back. They do not hold back. I mean, like Bullet for Valentine's hard, but you have to listen to it. It connects to like every event in my life and just at once. I had to stop because it was so emotional because it's hard to listen to. I have never heard anything like it. I've not, and it's definitely my favorite record of this year. In my top, definitely, but definitely one of my generation because this emo record hit me harder than anything ever has, and it is something else because it's really hard for people to get into because it's hard to listen to. You know, we've all been through these situations, and when someone doesn't sugarcoat the crap and just gives it to you just dry and just it's difficult. It's difficult to listen to, and this was one that definitely took me a few times to get through the whole thing. Just because I started just getting super more tearing up and stuff, because it's hard. It goes back, you know, because once again, you just connect with the artist, you know. You're like, I'm not alone. He went through the same stuff, you know, and just it really connects, and it really hit me like harder than anything ever did. Oh, big hair metal fan. Love hair metal, glam metal, whatever you want to call it. But Skid Row is definitely my favorite. Hands down, definitely my favorite. The record in 89 was before my generation, unfortunately. But this was in 91, Slave to the Grind, and I love this. Love this. I don't have the version that has Get the F Out on it. You know, I don't have that version. If you do have it, it's rare, so that's awesome. But Quicksand Jesus is something. Oh, man. Sebastian Bach's vocal range is just insane. I mean, when he hits that high note towards the end of the bridge there, oh my gosh. That's something else. I mean, I love Skid Row. Love Skid Row. Even though the band isn't really around anymore. Because there's no original members. It's just some people. I don't know why. I don't know how it's still going, to be honest with you. I really don't. But definitely my favorite. Definitely my favorite.
What could I have said to raise you from the dead? Or could I be the sky on the 4th of July? Well, you do enough talk, my little hawk. Why do you cry?
This one. Oh, man. Oh, man. When I heard 4th of July and the backstory to this thing, it was tough. It was difficult. Um, but carrying Lowell is definitely something to be reckoned with. I mean, it is deep. It is sad. It is just everything that 4th of July. It's all about his parents and losing his mom to cancer and stuff. And it's oh man. I showed it with people. I mean, listen to this thing. I'm serious. Listen to it. Because it's very stripped down, very stripped back. Not a lot of production. You know, just him, voice, kind of acoustic guitar, piano. And it hits you. You know, it hits you. Especially to my mom, and she's gone. She has breast cancer. We think hopefully it's gone, you know, but she went through a whole stage and stuff, and I can only imagine the people that didn't make it out, you know, that was like stage 3, and just I can only imagine how that would feel. That would just be terrible. Thankfully, we caught it at stage 0. They just found it, thank God, you know. But my sympathies is with people that lost so many loved ones to cancer, and it was too late, you know. I can only imagine how that felt.
I don't mind stealing bread from the mouths of decadence, but I can't feed on the powerless.
Temple the Dog was super big, especially for Hunger Strike. This is a big record. The story behind this is fantastic. If you want to know it, do look it up. It's definitely worth getting into. Why the band came and made this is huge, and definitely what brought about Pearl Jam and Soundgarden. Definitely. So if you want to find out, do check it out. It's definitely worth the listen.
Maybe different, but remember, winter's warm there, you and I, kissing whiskey by the fire, with the snow outside, when the summer comes.
Radio City, this, oh my gosh, middle school. Dave Matthews Band, Tim Reynolds, solo acoustic, how better can it get? I love this. I don't know what to say about it, you know. I love acoustic music, and this was just, it was good. I don't even know what to say. It's just, listen to it. Listen to this album. I'm serious. This one, I remember when this came out, Central Park concert was big, especially for Dave Matthews, but for the genre, it was a free concert, you know, right in the heart of Central Park, and people could just come in, and I don't even know how many people showed up. The whole fucking city might have showed up. But that concert was big just because it was free, you know, and it was just to listen to music, you know, and just, it was awesome album. Awesome. Definitely my favorite from them, definitely.
Here I am, once again. I'm torn into pieces. Can't deny it, can't pretend. Just thought you were the one. Broken up deep inside. But you won't get to see the tears I cry. Behind these hazel eyes.
Kelly Clarkson. Breakaway. Oh man. I know I'm a guy and I like Kelly Clarkson. Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do with myself? But Since You've Been Gone and Behind, it's just that hit, man. That record was huge for her. That was very groundbreaking, especially in the pop scene. Definitely a very groundbreaking record. If you haven't heard it, I'm so sorry for you that your parents didn't teach you good music. I'm sorry, you know, or that you've been living under a rock for the last 20 years, you know. But definitely groundbreaking for pop music, definitely. Yes, this is a great one. Of all their albums, this is my favorite. Makes Me Wonder really turned me onto them. And this record was just great. It really, my dad introduced me to Makes Me Wonder. He's like, hey, remember Maroon 5? At the time I didn't, you know. And I listened to it, and this thing blew me away, man. This was something else. Very big for alternative music. Very big record for alternative music, for sure. Amazing. Just, it'll always be good.
I'm becoming less defined as days go by, fading away. Well, you might say I'm losing focus, kind of drifting into the abstract in terms of how I see myself. Sometimes
9 Inch Nails with Teeth. Oh. This was middle school too, man. I remember when that record came out, and Only was on the top 20 video countdown for weeks. I was always on there, and you know, all the scene people in middle school wore the 9 Inch Nails shirts, you know, and just, oh man, I miss that, dude. 9 Inch Nails was big. This record was big for them. I know. I love Downward Spiral. Don't get me wrong. I love Downward Spiral. But with Teeth, I don't know. There's something about it that just really hit me really super hard. And especially Only is great. The Collector is great. The Hand That Feeds is great. This whole album was just really big. Really big for industrial music. Definitely huge. Slipknot. Slipknot. Oh man. We're going back with this thing, aren't we? Jeez. Volume 3. Oh, definitely a big one. Definitely a big one for them. Probably one of my favorites of theirs, especially with like Duality and yeah, definitely the big ones next to, before I forget, Duality, Pulse of the Maggots. I mean, Vermilion, and this is a great album, man. I know some people just don't like Slipknot, but this is amazing. This is huge. Once again, it was one of those scene shirts, you know. Everyone either wore Slipknot or run 9 Inch Nails. You know, that was the two things, and that was a big record, man. That was a big record for them, and really broke the music scene pretty hard. So definitely awesome.
Red light can't stop, so I spin the wheel. My world goes black before I feel an angel lift me up, and I open bloodshot eyes into fluorescent white. Let the siren hit the lights, close the doors, and I am gone.
Oh man, Thrice, Artist in the Ambulance. Oh. This goes back to Mitch in middle school. He brought me on the Thrice too. Image of the Invisible was the first thing I heard, but out of all their albums, I mean, Artist in the Ambulance was definitely my favorite. I felt like it definitely made a big wave in their career, and kind of in the emo rock phase. Everyone knows Artist in the Ambulance, you know, Stare at the Sun, and it's just, there's so many great songs on there. I can't even go through all of them. The whole record's great. It's just a really big turning point for the band, and it was an awesome record. Under Oath. Oh my gosh, this record is, I wish I had it, you know, but it's like $100, you know, so maybe one day we'll get it. Keep your fingers crossed. But this was a big one, like Reinventing the Exit, that was huge, and in my opinion, this is my favorite record of theirs, and I feel like the Christian rock, metal, core, emo, slash, whatever it is, it was a big record for them, very big, still is big. I still go back and listen to it every once in a while just to take it all in again and go back and just it's a trip. It is fantastic. It is absolutely fantastic.
And I give up, I just wanna tell you so you know. Here I go, scream my lungs out and try to get to you. You are my only one.
Yellow card. Oh my gosh. Am I in middle school again? Gosh, man. Ocean Avenue. Yes, this was. Oh my, I can't even. It was just. It's one of those things, Ocean Avenue was fantastic. It was. Sorry, I'm like blinded by my phone here. I need to shut this friggin'. I need to turn the brightness down on this thing. It just like blinds me over in this corner. But Ocean Avenue, man. Mariah loves this record. I do too. A lot of people do. Only One is probably one of the biggest singles off it, and that was way back, man. I thought it was like 2004. It's like 2003, 2001. Gosh, that was ways back, And it's still my favorite record from them. Definitely really big on the, once again, emo rock phase, huge. Everyone knew Yellow Card, but Ocean Avenue is one that people will be talking about for a long time. It's definitely definitely a fan favorite by, I hope, everybody. It's one of their biggest records I think they've ever released, and it's definitely a special place in my heart, definitely.